When buying a new gun, we all get attracted to flashy firearms, but have you ever thought, who would really buy that? They might look good at first glance, but once you look at them closely, they definitely are not worth buying and might leave you disappointed. Curious to know which guns made to this list? Stay with us until the end of this video as we explore the top guns that only an idiot would buy. Number 10. Lorson L380. Let's start off this list with a real failure. The Lorson L380 that no one should ever buy. This gun might attract you with its cheap price, but you will definitely not think of purchasing it once you hear about its build quality. This thing is made from a weak zinc alloy that is definitely not a battlefield material. So would you really trust your life with something that doesn't belong on the battlefield? Absolutely not. The Lorson L380 is not just undurable, but also very unreliable. It is prone to serious malfunctions, including jamming and misfires. And even with regular maintenance, several issues have been reported that further make you question about its reliability. Mind it, don't carry this weapon with a round in the chamber, as it doesn't even have a proper drop safety. So if you accidentally drop it, there is a high risk of accidental discharge. And that's not just the observation only. The Firearms manual also warns you about this issue. Ever thought about Firearms critical parts breaking? Unfortunately, Lorson L380 is built like that. The owners of this weapon have reported that parts such as firing pins break even when used regularly. So what if your gun fails to operate in a life or death situation, all because of these broken parts? Not only this, the L380 is also highly inaccurate. If you try to shoot a target that is a bit far, don't expect to hit much. And this is something you can't really afford, especially in defensive situations. Though the initial price of a firearm is quite low, its repair costs make this weapon a poor choice for any firearm enthusiast out there. Number 9. RG14 Revolver. Ready to know another failure in the world of firearms? Let's talk about the RG14, which is not just infamous but also unreliable. This thing is famous for breaking critical parts unexpectedly, such as the firing pin, etc., without any warning signs. Imagine you fire a round and nothing happens. Wouldn't that be frustrating? Durability is another concern. Many important parts of this weapon are made out of zinc, which is lightweight and not as tough. It also wears down quickly, so this firearm definitely doesn't belong to the battlefield. This firearm is like a gamble. Sometimes it will work, but sometimes it won't. So you better keep a backup ready with you. Want faster and quicker reloads? Don't even think about it. The revolver is designed such that the cylinder is locked in with a rod that needs to be unscrewed every time you want to reload, which is definitely time-consuming. And when it comes to removing spent shells, this weapon is super inconvenient. It doesn't have an ejector rod, but a screw that has to be removed every time to access the cylinder. And once you got access, you have to use your nails to clear out empty casings. Not cool, right? Let's not forget the explosive rounds of this weapon that were supposed to explode when they hit something, but they really didn't work like that. And yes, it's cheap, so it looks like a great deal until you realize it's a complete disaster. Number 8. Davies Industries P380. The Davies Industries P380 is another gun that made it to the list of worst guns ever made. Chambered in .380 ACP, it hit the market back in the 1980s and 90s and was made tiny and cheap. A low-quality metal called Zamac was used in its construction, which made the gun affordable but not reliable. Though this material keeps the gun lightweight, it is also very weak. Push it too hard and it will break. So if you want durability, this is not the weapon with high-end materials. When it comes to capacity, it holds 6 rounds in a single stack magazine, which is fine for a small-sized pistol, but after adding in the manual safety, this thing turns into a gamble. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it won't. Would you really trust your life with a gun that might fail when you need it the most? The P380 is striker-fired, so you don't have to deal with an external hammer here, which sounds great, but the trigger? It's rough and heavy with no crisp feel and smooth break. Something you cannot fire quickly if you need to, especially in high-pressure situations. The ergonomics are not great either. And when you shoot it, sometimes it runs through a full magazine without any malfunction, but fails to extract rounds when not in a mood, causing jams and misfeeds. And don't even think about running +P ammunition through this pistol. It's tiny and cannot handle high-pressure rounds. Doing so can lead to major issues like cracking the frame or even injuring your own hand. Do you actually want this? Number 7. FIE Titan Tiger. Think the last gun was bad? Wait till you hear about this disaster, the FIE Titan Tiger. It's made from some random metals that have been melted down, which might work for cheap toys, but when talking about weapons, you definitely need something more reliable. Back in the day, this gun was priced around $200, which sounds like a great deal, but just because it's cheap, it doesn't mean it can be relied upon. So yes, it's affordable, but it's actually not reliable. Durability, not good even. Drop this weapon once and forget about it completely. The FIE Titan Tiger is not designed to handle anything beyond mild target loads, so don't think of running 38 special rounds through this revolver, or it might cause jamming issues. This thing is totally a gamble with every trigger pull. Some of the guns face no issues in firing, even a full cylinder, while others experience problems like misfires and timing issues. So you never really know what you're going to get. Repairs can be a challenge. If something breaks, good luck finding the replacement parts, as this weapon is no longer in production. So if you are in the market for a budget revolver, trust me, there are way better options out there. But don't settle for something you would regret buying later. Number 6. Gold AK-47. The gold AK-47 is another mistake in the world of firearms. When you first look at it, you will be like, wow. But once you take a closer look, it's nothing more than a failure. The regular AK-47 is already heavy, so imagine what it feels like after slapping gold all over it. It definitely will tire you off even before you get a shot. When it comes to cost, we are talking $5,000 or even more just to buy this flashy gun that barely shoots. At the same time, you can buy something high quality with a full setup for less money than this. Although gold is appealing in the world of firearms, it's the worst idea ever. It's so soft and wears off with time, so taking it to the woods or the range will definitely make it dull quickly. So what's the use of paying a hefty amount when you are not actually getting the durability you want? Firearms get hot when you shoot them, and gold is something that cannot resist high temperatures as other materials can. So when you fire, gold will not cool down quickly and will degrade over time. So this thing is just great to show off and isn't functional at all. And what if you want to stay concealed with a gold AK-47? Not a good idea. You will struggle to blend in, making it very hard to stay unnoticed. Hence, if you just want a decoration piece on your wall, the gold AK-47 might be a good choice, but if you are actually looking for a gun that performs well, this could be one of the biggest mistakes you make. Number 5. Tech-9. Ready to move on to the next flop gun on our list? Meet the Tech-9 that has earned its place among questionable firearms. This gun was built with a stamped steel body that looked tactical on the outside, but was nothing more than a failure. It has a reputation for poor craftsmanship, where the receiver is made with a metal pipe and the frame is made of cheap plastic, something you would find in a toy. Despite using metal and plastic in its construction, this weapon is bulky and unbalanced that weighs you down, especially during extended sessions. The trigger is not good either. It's heavy and feels rough, and it is difficult to shoot consistently, even if you are an experienced shooter. It is prone to constant jamming and inconsistent firing, making it more of a headache than a dependable weapon. The Tech-9 gained a lot of attention due to its appearance in movies, but in real life, it doesn't work when you actually need it. It is built from cheap materials that doesn't hold up well over time, contributing to a shorter lifespan. The Tech-9 is also not accurate and is reported to face difficulty in shooting, especially in longer ranges, so if you really want tight groupings and precision, this is not a gun to rely on. Another downside of this gun is that it runs best with only full metal jacket ammunition, which is great for military use due to its penetrative power, but is definitely not ideal for civilian use. So investing in this firearm is not a wise decision. Number 4. Saltwood Browning. Browning firearms have always been renowned for their quality, but the Saltwood technique used in some of their models has led to serious issues. Back in the 1960s, Browning has a large supply of beautiful yet delicate California walnut that take months to dry out. To speed up the process, they tried a salt drying method that pulls moisture out of the wood faster and helps dry the stocks quickly. When these stocks were assembled onto the firearm, the salt reacted with the metal components, leading to rust and corrosion. This corrosion goes deeply into the metal over time, which further weakens the gun. And the worst part, the damage started when the stock met the steel, and it was difficult to spot until it was too late. Although once the issue was recognized, Browning stopped using this method in their stocks, but many models have already been produced till that time that are still floating around on the market today. The popular models of that era were the A5, Satori, and superposed shotguns. So if you come across any of the guns today, don't forget to check the metal parts closely for hidden rust. Thinking you will just fix the problem? Not a good idea. It involves replacing the entire stock, which requires a lot of money, sometimes even more than the value of the gun itself. So don't even think it's just a little rust to clean up. It requires a great amount of money and is also time-consuming. So why invest in a gun that will cost you a fortune later on? Number 3. Winchester Model 11 SL. The Winchester Model 11 SL is another weapon that is considered a problematic firearm. It has earned the nickname the Widowmaker due to its dangerous design flaw. This thing lacked a charging handle, so users had to pull back on the barrel to chamber a round. Back in the early 1900s, shotgun shells were made out of paper that could not handle moisture very well. So when they get a little wet, they would swell up inside and get stuck. Now, the lack of a charging handle requires you to push the whole barrel backward, and with a stuck shell, you need to push really hard, which could cause serious injuries if it jumped back, making it extremely dangerous. Another design flaw? The use of fiber buffers instead of metal friction rings that are much weaker and doesn't manage the recoil well as compared to rings that greatly absorb the shocks. Who would want to get punched in the shoulder again and again? Absolutely no one. What made this shotgun even worse was the quality of the stock. At first glance, it might seem like it's made from high-quality walnut wood, but it's actually not. What they really use is a laminated birch that is not as durable and would start to come apart if exposed to water such as rain or mud. This would weaken the stock, making it one of the worst guns to buy. And the list of its design flaws doesn't stop here. The magazine of this shotgun also has feeding issues that further contribute to its reputation for being a problematic firearm. So a wise decision now can save you from a lot of regret down the road. Number 2. Jimenez Arms JA9. Who doesn't want an affordable firearm? Everyone, of course. The Jimenez Arms JA9 is no doubt a budget-friendly weapon, but this low price comes with serious drawbacks. One of the biggest concerns with this weapon is how often it malfunctions. It is reported to jam frequently, so you cannot trust something you know that works sometimes. Even a brand new JA9 will likely run into jams and misfires, so it's not about how old your weapon is. The new one can also disappoint you in the same way. When it comes to build quality, it's definitely not confidence-inspiring and uses a mix of zinc, aluminum, copper, and magnesium in its construction to keep the costs down, sacrificing its durability. This material, being soft and prone to wear, starts to warp and degrade under pressure, something which is not ideal for a firearm. When it comes to handling, this thing is super heavy and unbalanced, which makes it uncomfortable to hold and shoot even for just a few minutes. Not only this, the grip is also uncomfortable that doesn't exactly fit in your hands, so you have to constantly readjust it to get a natural fit. Isn't it frustrating? The trigger is also not good either. It's stiff and doesn't break cleanly, so you have to fight against it, making every shot feel like a struggle. And with JA9, you can only dream about precision shooting as its sights are poorly aligned, so you are more like guessing while hitting your target. Everything about this weapon is poorly designed, so what's the point of buying it if it cannot be even trusted in high-stress situations? Number 1. High Point. The last one on our list is the Hi-Point weapon, which has sparked a lot of debate due to its several design flaws. First off, they are big and heavy as they work on a blowback system that relies on a heavy slide to handle the force of a bullet being fired. So even their smallest models, like the C9, weigh at 25 ounces unloaded. And after adding a full magazine, your pistol is not less than 2 pounds. Isn't it a lot of weight? This heavier firearm makes it difficult to carry all day, especially when you know there are lighter options available out there. The magazines on these guns are another thing to talk about. Hi-Point's magazines are known for poor construction and fail to feed rounds smoothly, leading to jams and misfeeds. So what's the point of a gun that can't even load rounds smoothly? In addition, these pistols are very picky about the ammunition you feed them. Don't expect it to run smoothly with any kind of ammunition. You need to test out different brands before finalizing one for your pistol, so you end up buying multiple ammunition and then settle on one. And when it comes to aesthetics, these guns are a real failure. Since these pistols are made using cheap materials, they are not just less durable, but also have a dull, unfinished look, which makes them look super cheap. Not only this, but the grips are also thick and the lines are awkward too. So, if you are someone who takes pride in their gear, Hi-Points don't deliver that. Cleaning this gun is super frustrating. It's not something you can strip and clean in a few minutes. Instead, it needs tools such as a hammer to take it apart. Once you are done, good luck with the disassembly. It's just as awkward as taking it apart. So, the Hi-Points serve a purpose only if you are willing to accept all these limitations. Otherwise, it's a complete headache. So what do you think about these firearms? Will you still consider buying one after learning about all these flaws? Let us know below. Thanks for tuning in today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Take care and see you